video is on my handwritten notes on development of cornea from Wolf's Anatomy, 8th edition. So, the trigger for the development of the cornea is separation of the lens vesicle from the surface ectoderm at 33rd day of gestational age. So, at this stage, the surface layer is two-layered of epithelial cells. The superficial squamous layer and the basal cuboidal cell layer resting on the basal lamina. So, when there is detachment of the lens vesicle from the surface ectoderm, as per the studies in chick embryos, there is stimulation of the basal layer of surface ectoderm cells to secrete the collagen fibrils and glycosaminoglycans. They fill the space between surface ectoderm, that is of the developed cornea, and the lens vesicle. The primary corneal stroma here is made up of macrophages to clear the debris, then poorly organized stroma, fine filaments, amorphous material, few collagen fibrils, mesenchymal cells derived from first wave of the neural crest cells from the rim of the optic curve. The first wave of the neural crest cells, they form the corneal endothelium. Then neural crest cells migration happens along with posterior aspect of the primary stroma and fibronectin in the basal lamina of the anterior lens cells. Corneal endothelium development. At 40 days of gestational age, when the embryo length is around 17 to 18 millimeter length, the surface epithelium is two-layered, superficial squamous and basal cuboidal resting on the basal lamina. There is a primary stroma and double or triple layer of the flattened endothelial cells posteriorly. Then on scanning electron microscopy, at 7th week of gestational age, superficial cells are two-layered, pentagonal or hexagonal in shape, microvilla and fine microplici present on the anterior surface. Now, microvilla are finger-like projections and microplici are folds, circular folds. So, microvilli, they increase the surface area for absorption, and microplici are for the substrate exchange and also to adhere the lubricating mucin on its surface to hold that mucin on the cell surface. So, microvilla and fine microplici, these are present on the anterior surface. Ultrastructurally, that is on electron microscopy, these cells are electron dense, flat, contain many glycogen granules, and very rarely at this stage, at 7 weeks of gestational age, very rarely the desmosomes connect superficial cells with the underlying cuboidal cells. So, desmosomes are present, but their occurrence is very rare. So, between 2nd to 3rd months of gestational age, there is increased diameter of the superficial cells, that is 15 to 20 micrometer. Then there is homogeneous distribution of microvilla and fine microplici all over the cell surface. Now these cells are more electron-lucent than before. They don't have much glycogen at this stage as before. Large number of desmosomes connect superficial epithelial cells with the underlying epithelium. And 4 to 5 incomplete layers of the keratocytes are present in the stroma at this stage, that is at the 7th week of the gestational age. And a few collagen fibrils are present in the stroma along with the keratocytes, 4 to 5 layers of the incomplete layers of the keratocytes along with the few collagen fibrils in the stroma. Now, at the end of 3rd month of gestation, that is beginning of 4th month, the superficial epithelium is 2 to 3 layers with 3 types of the cells. Small cells having the largest number of microvilla and microplici, obviously because small cells, so they will have more number of the microvilla and microplici to increase the surface area. Then medium-sized cells, these are intermediate type cells. They have intermediate number of microvilla and microplici. Large cells, these are like disease committing cells. these have, or old cells, these have fewest microvilla and microplica. We can remember as large cells, they don't require the large surface area. So, fewest microvilla and microplica. Large cells are electron-lucent and is believed to be in the process of decomposition. Stroma is 25 to 30 layers of keratocytes. It has 25 to 30 layers of keratocytes at this stage, at third month of gestational age, and is arranged more regularly in the posterior half especially. There is desmus membrane, but it is thin and uneven, and endothelium at this stage of third month of gestational age, it is monolayered. Human corneal epithelium attains surface morphology of that of adult appearance by 5th to 6th months of gestational age when the eyelids open. So this is the diagrammatic presentation of development of the cornea at various stages. At 39 days of gestational age, there is epithelium that is true layered, superficial squamous and basal cuboidal resting on the basal lamina. The endothelium is two layered. And at 7 weeks of gestational age, that is 49 days of gestational age, epithelium is two layered, again superficial squamous, basal cuboidal with primary stroma intervening in between, and endothelium is two layered. Then at 7.5 weeks of gestational age, that is around 53rd days of gestational age, epithelium is again two layered, superficial squamous, basal cuboidal, there is a basal lamina. Then endothelium is two layered, and intervening stroma, it has got 4 to 5 incomplete layers of the keratocytes. These keratocytes, they come from the third wave of the neural crest cells from the rim of the optic cup. These mesenchymal neural crest cells, they differentiate into keratocytes. And these keratocytes, they arrange themselves in 4 to 5 incomplete layers at this stage, and they secrete the few collagen fibrils at this stage, also glycosamine glycans. Then at third month of the gestational age, that is around 12 weeks of gestational age, that is 4th month beginning, superficial epithelium is 2 to 3 layered, and it is made up of 3 types of the cells: small, intermediate and large cells as discussed before. And stroma is made up of 25 to 30 layers of keratocyte. These are arranged more regularly in the posterior half of the stroma. And the desmus membrane here can be recognized, but it is thin and uneven at this stage. Endothelium is monolayered. So stroma, at 19 mm length of embryo stage, there is second wave of neural crest cells from optic rim that migrates between the corneal endothelium and lens epithelium, and it is destined to form the primary pupillary membrane. Then there is further development of primary corneal stroma at this stage. There is swelling of the extracellular matrix of primary corneal stroma, and it is because of the hydration of the hyaluronic acid that is present in the extracellular matrix of the stroma at this stage. Then, to make the space available for third wave of neural crest cells, which form the fibroblasts and keratocytes of corneal stroma, these third wave of neural crest cells differentiate into stromal fibroblasts and keratocytes. They secrete type 1 collagen fibrils and matrix of secondary or mature stroma. Secondary or mature stroma, initially it is rich in fibronectin, and it disappears as the mesenchymal cells come to occupy the entire region. The stroma attains its maximum width at this stage, that is double the post-embryonic width. But this decreases because of the dehydration of the hyaluronic acid present in the corneal stroma. There is compression of the connective tissue. Then stellate mesenchymal cells are randomly arranged at this stage. Later, they gradually change into spindle-shaped cells in the corneal stroma. They are oriented parallel to the corneal surface, However, glycosaminoglycans rich in carboxyl and sulfate residues are secreted prior to collagen fibrils. First, these glycosaminoglycans are secreted, which are rich in carboxyl and sulfate residues, and then the collagen fibrils are secreted by these keratocytes. Then keratin sulfate is not detected until 6 months of age. Okay. So collagen fibrils are organized as lamellae. Each lamellae continues to grow, and the growth is seen as interstitial growth and appositional growth. This interstitial growth means increase in the number of collagen fibrils, that is, additional collagen fibrils are secreted, and appositional growth means there is successive layers of lamellae which are formed with increase in the number of collagen fibrils. As the lamellae increase in width and length, diameter and thickness of cornea increases. Human embryo at 33 mm length stage, that is 8 weeks of gestational age. Central corneal stoma consists of 5 to 8 rows of cells. Most posterior layers of stoma are confluent with the condensed mesenchymal tissue of the future sclera at the periphery. There is increase in the number of stromal cell layers rapidly at this stage. At 35 mm stage of embryo, there is increase in the number of stromal cell layers rapidly. Anteriorly, at 35 mm length stage of embryo, 2-layered epithelium is present. 15-layered stoma is present with scant collagen fibrils and mesenchymal cell layer, that is future keratocytes and fibroblasts. Posteriorly, there is double endothelial layer. Descemet membrane and endothelium. 3rd month of gestational age, that is 63 mm embryo length stage. Endothelium becomes single layered or monolayered. It rests on interrupted or incomplete basal lamina, future Descemet membrane. At this stage, basal lamina on transmission electron micrograph shows 2 layers, anterior electron dense band and posterior electron lucent zone. The lamina densa is the dense band. Its thickness is 36.7 nanometer thick, and posterior electron lucent zone, lamina lucida, 37.5 nanometer thick. Further differentiation of growth of Descemet membrane includes secretion of series of individual membrane units. They form multi-layered unit. At 12 weeks of gestational age, Descemet membrane is single layered. At 6 months of gestational age, it is 10 layered. At birth, it becomes 30 to 40 layered. This deposition of membrane units. Short, thin, linear filaments are laid down perpendicular and in between the adjacent lamellae. These filaments function as cross-linking bridges to put and pull together adjacent unit layers. On transmission electron microscopy at 6 months of gestational age, hexagonal arrangement of fibrils, interconnecting nodes and internodes of electron-dense material are seen. And this arrangement, it produces a lamellar pattern of equilateral triangles with sides of 110 nanometer. Anterior 1/3 of Descemet membrane, it is banded fetal zone because of this arrangement, and its maximum thickness at birth is 3 micrometer. Postnatal life, posterior non-banded zone, it thickens with the age. So banded zone is anteriorly, non-banded zone of the Descemet membrane posteriorly, and this non-banded zone, it thickens with the age. That is posterior to the Descemet membrane, that is posterior part of the Descemet membrane. Then endothelial cells. Apices of endothelial cells are joined by zonula occidentis tight junctions at 4th month of gestational age, which corresponds to the onset of production of aqueous humor by ciliary processes. At 6th month of gestational age, middle layer of wing cells in corneal epithelium develops. Descemet membrane is demarcated clearly. Descemet membrane is seen at 3rd month of gestational age. At 6 months of gestational age, it is clearly seen. And stroma has immature extracellular matrix and collagen fibrils and active keratocytes. Bowman's membrane or Bowman's zone. It forms at around 5th month of gestational age. This region is always acellular. It is synthesized by superficial stromal keratocytes. They lay down ground substance and collagen fibrils. Contribution of primitive epithelium to the development of Bowman's membrane is unknown. 17 to 18 weeks of gestational age, that is 4 to 5 months of gestational age. Thin lamina lucida, that is present anteriorly. Its thickness is 41.68 nanometer. And there is fully developed lamina densa posteriorly at 16 to 18 weeks of gestational age, that is 4 to 5 months of gestational age. There is partially developed hemidesmosomes and anchoring filaments. Hemidesmosomes are present, anchoring filaments are present, but these are partially developed, connecting the basal surface of the epithelial cells to the lamina lucida and densa of Bowman's zone. At both, these filaments and fibrils fully intermingle with fully developed collagen tissue of Bowman's membrane. So human cornea diameter is at 12 weeks of gestational age, it is 2 mm, 15 weeks 3.5 mm, 17 weeks the corneal diameter is 4.5 mm, at 21st week of gestational age it is 5.5 mm, and at 35 weeks it is 9.3 mm. Once the adult size is attained, turnover and replacement of collagen fibrils is extremely slow. So we can say the cornea has different layers, and the development of the cornea can be summarized as the surface layers, that is the surface epithelium. It is derived from the surface ectoderm. Then the stroma is derived from the third wave of neural crest cells, that is keratocytes. They lay down the collagen and all, and even they lay down the Bowman's membrane at 4th to 5th months of the gestational age. So Bowman's membrane also is derived from the third neural crest cells, that is from the keratocytes. Then endothelium, it is derived from the first wave of the neural crest cells, and it also lays down along with the keratocytes, the descemet membrane. It is not mentioned here, but I guess it is from the endothelium, that is the neural crest cells only, because neural crest cells first wave and second wave. First wave and the third wave, in between them there is a descemet membrane. So descemet membrane we can say is derived from the neural crest cells. So the corneal layers are derived from the surface ectoderm and first and third wave of the neural crest cells. So this concludes the development of the cornea from Wolff's anatomy, and I have covered this chapter because I want to talk about the Peters anomaly and then aniridia. For that I'm going to cover first development of the cornea, which I have covered in this video. Then I'm going to cover the development of the ciliary body, if time permits. Along with that I'll cover the ciliary body anatomy also, and iris development and iris anatomy, and then I can talk about the Peters anomaly and aniridia. Enough for today. Thank you.